the adults were expanded versions of the youth, and the youth in those days were just mini figures of the fathers and mothers. But they weren't different to them, and they didn't want to be different. An interesting thing now is the accent of Gonzaga boys now, quite different. You get a real dub now, whereas before they all had cut-class accents.
What's a cut-class accent?
Well, you might think of the Oxford accent par excellence.
Okay.
And the parents, too, tended to have the same sort of accent, and the children picked it up from the parents. But I don't think there's much picking up of accents from parents nowadays. That's my general impression. So there was a big difference in that. That was beginning, it was only just beginning in 1961. It changed radically as it went on.
So what you went on to say, you said that in this speech, you said there were small boys in blazers, short pants and school caps walked up from the courtyard in single file in silence to the first class, and at break knelt on the lunchroom floor for the rosary under Father Laheen's commanding eye. The senior boys were squashed versions of their parents. The adolescent culture was yet to emerge.
That's right.
So something happened then, or a million things happened then. But what do you think caused that change? I know it's something people talk about all the time, so maybe it's hard to do this without talking in cliches. What's your sense of what the hell happened at the end of the 50s and at the start of the 60s?
Well, I think it was a generation that had become weary, and there was a terrific turmoil in the Second World War, and that jolted people. And I think it jolted people out of their complacency and out of their normal way of thinking. And that was an element in it, very definite, the jolt of the Second World War. And everything was thrown up for grabs.
So I remember the late Michael Paul Gallagher once talked, he said, we used to live in a culture of authority and now we live in a culture of experience, where people have to experience something for themselves to accept it or to feel it's worth embracing, whereas before they just took what their parents, teachers, authorities told them.
And now in that stage they were beginning to take it. If the parents have that idea, it must be wrong. Whereas before it must be correct.